Welcome to Polk Waste Wise. I'm your host, Lauren Lingell. As you can see, I'm not in an office, which is great. We're in a neighborhood and we're going to check out how one resident's doing with their recycling. So let's see. Oops, that's not good. So your recycling cart should be lined up at least 3 feet from any fixed object. Your mailbox is considered a fixed object. So this is going to have to probably move. This is much better recycling cart placement. That way when the trucks come around, they're going to hook up to this little guy in the front here, and they're not going to knock over your mailbox in the process. Well, you've heard of dumpster diving. So today we're going to be taking a dive into the recycling cart and seeing what's good in the neighborhood. Here to help me is Mike Fegrguson, the expert on all things recyclable. And hey Mike, how's it going?
There's some good things in here and there's some bad things in here.
I can see that.
This blower is a product. Even under the old program, this wasn't an acceptable item for recycling. It's got an electric motor in there. It's made from various plastics. You can either put this in your garbage can or bring it to the household hazardous waste facility and we'll recycle it for you there.
The interesting point you made about it being a product, many of the things that you're going to find in recycling are packaging. You're not necessarily buying the container that detergent comes in, and you're not buying the container that milk or water comes in. You're buying what's in it. You're buying the water, the milk, or the detergent. So it's important to think of things in terms of product and packaging. The newspaper is probably the only product that you should really be putting in here.
We have a nice Tide bottle. It's a colored plastic. It's made from several different plastics. So it would take a lot more energy to turn this into a product that could be recycled than getting the raw material to make it.
Okay, let me find something good, because I saw some good things in here. All right, this is a little dinged up, but this is the kind of plastic we want. This is the good stuff. This container is probably not going to change for 5 or so years. So this is going to have great marketability, and it's going to have a great chance of coming back and being used as raw material. So these are great things to put in there.
Cardboard. Cardboard's always good. As long as it's clean, doesn't have any grease or garbage on it.
And that's perfect.
You know.
That's great cardboard. Good job.
They can be recycled.
Aluminum cans. They never go out of style. The aluminum can is the new black. Like, these things are in style all the time. So that's a good item. Now, what the heck is this? You're probably going to have to help me on this one. This is part of a truck?
Yep, that looks like it's the inside of somebody's truck.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they wanted to recycle this plastic, but this is not a type of plastic that's going to come back again. This is kind of in its end life stage.
Newspaper, great stuff. Like she said, this is a product that you can actually put in a recycle bin. This is going to be one of the only products you're going to buy that you can actually put back in a recycle bin, and it's going to come back as a newspaper again. Got
some more plastic, as you heard the spiel before. You know, colored plastics, clear plastics, they don't mix, as well as the resins. You know, everybody talks about the numbers on the bottom of these, and can we take plastics 1 through 7 and things like that. But what it amounts to is they are just not equal. They're not the same when it comes to the manufacturing process, and a lot of the machines out there in the manufacturing process are created to process virgin materials that have never been made into something before. So keep that in mind. That's why they're not part of our program right now.
This is it's a plastic paint can. We appreciate you trying to recycle the plastic, but again, this is a plastic that can't be recycled. Not only is it a plastic that's mixed with other plastics, it's got paint on it, it's contaminated, it's going to contaminate anything that it comes in contact with. These, once they're empty, can go in your trash, or if they still have paint in them, you can go ahead and bring them to us at the landfill to our facility.
And Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but styrofoam has never been recyclable in our program.
No.
So make sure you leave that out, because these little pieces right here that come off, these little snowflakies, they're gonna contaminate other items. So make sure you leave those out of your recycling cart.
Packaging material, your soda cans, your candy containers, this stuff is good to recycle. It's going to come back as another item, other packaging material.
And whether it is a Publix bag or a garbage bag, it doesn't belong in here. A lot of times they get stuck in the machines in sorting recyclable materials and also in manufacturing of recyclable materials, and causes the breakdown of the machines. It's costly to fix, and it's all in all, it's not a good thing. But there are plenty of programs that will take those plastic bags from the grocery store and reuse them in a different way.
The importance of putting the right material in your container is the feasibility, the viability of the recycling program, the marketability of the material. We have a waste sort coming up in about a month or so.
Oh yeah.
Right after Mother's Day. We're trying to get the material as clean as we can, because that's going to dictate how the program is going to go forward in the future.
Absolutely.
It's going to set the marketability for the next year or more.
Well, Mike, thanks for coming out and jumping in with me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. It's always an adventure.
All right, well, we'll be right back with Anna Wood to talk a little bit more about recycling and then yard waste. So stay tuned.
I am a Senior Corps RSVP volunteer.
I build teams
and friendships.
and families
I build lives and communities.
and myself.
Join Senior Corps RSVP.
lead by experience.
at seniorcorps.gov.
Welcome back to Polk Waste Wise. I'm your host, Lauren Lingell. Joining me here at the Waste and Recycling Admin Building is Anna Wood. Once again, very nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And earlier you saw us talking about recycling items, curbside, what's good, what's not so good, what goes in your trash. And we're gonna continue talking about recycling and then get into some yard waste. But Anna, I have to tell you a story. So today I was talking with a friend, and she mentioned that she knows someone in Polk County who's involved in our recycling program. And my friend was really concerned because the person that she knows is putting everything into her recycling cart. And this is somebody who cares about the environment. They want to do the right thing. They want to recycle. But in doing so, they're really kind of screwing everything up. So what are we going to do if other residents feel like that? They just feel like they're fed up with the program and they're just throwing everything in the cart.
That what you're describing is an opportunity for us to target the message, and that's what we're doing. Within the next few weeks, we are going to embark in a new campaign. The good news is that now we have a database of customers that participate in the program, the people that have the recycling cards. So we're going to be sending information to them directly targeted to that participant, in providing them sufficient resources so they can do their own research. My experience has been when people can do the research themselves, when they learn about the topic, and especially if they're passionate about it and they want to save the environment, all of us will benefit.
I see you've got a book there. This is like Anna's book club now. Tell us about this book that you got.
Well, part of the research I do goes beyond solid waste, and I like to see multiple sources. And this book is actually not about recycling per se, but it's about plastics, and specifically is about single-use plastics, bottled water. Mm-hmm. And according to this author, we are opening 1,500 bottles per second in the United States. The outcome of that is not all this material is recycled, because regardless of efforts that we put in recycling, most of this material is made from virgin materials. And to further research and look into this, next month I will be going to the International Plastic Expo, which happens to be here in Orlando. And the purpose of my visit to the expo is to gain more understanding as to why we manufacture all these products with virgin materials, and to see what percentage of the people that come in, and this is, like I said, globally, are actually using materials from secondary markets, so post-consumer plastics.
And let's talk a little bit about yard waste and see what's going on there, because I know there's been some confusion amongst our residents.
Well, yes, and it's timely to talk about yard waste as the summer months are approaching. Everything starts growing again, rain.
My grass
and,
that I
yes,
haven't cut.
everything, yes, and trees. And what I want to talk about yard waste is that we need to remember or be mindful of what the intent of the contract is. I know we have dimensions, 6 inches in diameter and no longer than 6 foot long. Our residents are becoming very creative. They will cut a tree down, literally cut it, an oak tree, and they cut everything to make sure those dimensions, to match the dimensions. That's not the intent of this of our service. The intent of our program is to collect routine yard waste. This is yard waste that is generated, basically a trimming of trees.
So the assessment fee, what people pay per year for services, for collection services and for disposal and processing. For yard waste, what do you approximate per resident or per household that you're collecting in yard waste?
We project 500 pounds, and how we get to that number is on an annual basis. We know how much we collect, and then we know how many residences we service. So we average 500 pounds per year, which equates to $5.70 a year that our resident pays for disposal. That equates to approximately 10 pounds per week. Obviously, there are times during the year that we don't put yard waste out. So sometimes residents will have more than 10 pounds, and that is okay. But the intent of our service level is not
to collect 500 pounds every week.
Yes, correct.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Or to take care of a tree that has been cut down or removed.
Right. So really, the thing that residents really need to look at there is this an excessive amount of waste? Is it beyond normal trimmings and clippings?
Yes.
Because you can probably get away with like 50 pounds of yard waste, or maybe even 100 pounds. But an entire tree is going to be pretty obvious.
That is correct.
And the other piece to that is that's all manually put in the truck.
That is correct.
So our guys would be out there, or our contracted guys would be out there lifting a bunch of trees.
Yeah, you have to remember that unlike the garbage that is automated, yard waste is collected by human beings, male and females, and we have to be mindful of that. And that's why the 50-pound limit is also for bundles or bag yard waste or containerized yard waste.
As always, it's a pleasure talking with you, and I'm sure we'll be doing it again very soon. For more information, you can check out polkwastewise.net. You can go to your app store if you have an Android or iPhone and download the Polk Waste Wise app, or you can give us a call at 863-284-4319 at the Waste and Recycling office, and we'll be happy to help. We'll see you next time on Polk Waste Wise.